In the midst of the ongoing conflict in Gaza, Hamas leader Moussa Abu Marzouk expressed frustration over failed attempts to secure Palestinian rights through political means. He mentioned attempts at reconciliation, participation in elections, and seeking international support for peace, all of which yielded no results. He emphasized that Palestinians have been living under occupation for years, and despite various efforts, the situation has not improved. He also noted a shift in the conflict dynamics, with Palestinians now fighting within their historic land, challenging Israel's perceived invincibility. In response to a Hamas attack, Israel ordered the evacuation of northern Gaza, enforced a blockade, cut off food, water, and electricity, and deployed 300,000 troops at the border. Palestinians view this as an attempt to occupy Gaza for new settlements, reminiscent of Israel's establishment in 1948 when Arabs were displaced. Israeli leaders, echoing past Zionists, equated Palestinians with Nazis, emphasizing armed forces' importance. Despite numerous unimplemented UN resolutions condemning settlement activities, attempts like the 2016 Resolution 2334 and the 2020 Abraham Accords have not resolved the conflict's root causes. Article discusses potential consequences if Israel attacks Gaza, risks to diplomatic agreements, destabilization of allies, Egypt, Jordan, and empowering Hamas in the West Bank. Friedman urges Biden to clarify Israel's plans for Gaza governance, humanitarian aid, and settlements. President Biden condemned Hamas for a hospital attack, suggesting the need for an international investigation. Hasty partiality might not be the best approach.
The article discusses the ongoing crisis in Manipur, India, emphasizing the importance of India's intellectual tradition of samvad, dialogue, in resolving conflicts. It compares the situation in Manipur to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, highlighting the complexity of narratives and the challenge of finding the truth amid violence. The article criticized the influence of hardliners who justify violence through exclusionary politics and advocates for open dialogue, cross-checking claims, and recognizing opposing viewpoints to achieve a negotiated truth. It emphasizes the need for moral strength and openness to peaceful dialogue in Manipur to address the crisis amid mistrust and violence.
The Reserve Bank of India, RBI, maintained its 6.5% GDP growth projection for the year despite emerging uncertainties. Geopolitical tensions, economic fragmentation, volatile financial markets, and an uneven monsoon pose risks, balanced by strengthening domestic demand. Concerns were raised about disruptions in global food, fuel, and fertilizer supplies due to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Rising U.S. bond yields, mixed data, and global central banks' signals added to uncertainties. India's dependence on fuel and fertilizer imports could impact its macroeconomic framework. While the Finance Ministry remains optimistic about the economy, challenges like declining car sales and weak rural demand highlight the need for a more balanced recovery.
The U.S. House of Representatives has elected Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana as Speaker after a prolonged period of indecision and factionalism within the Republican Party. The struggle for consensus exposed deep divides between those supporting former President Donald Trump and those who do not. Trump's influence remains significant, with his endorsement being a key factor in candidate support. The internal party fractures indicate potential trouble for the Republican Party in the 2024 presidential election. Despite Trump's popularity within the party, opposition from traditional conservatives and internal dissonance might pose significant challenges to his political ambitions.
India's aspiration to host the 2036 Olympic Games raises questions about the nation's preparedness. Hosting the Olympics is a significant honor, showcasing a country's soft power, but it also brings challenges. Successful hosting requires a strong National Olympic Committee, NOC, unity among various stakeholders, and long-term planning. India's internal cohesion could be a challenge, and the country needs unbiased feasibility reports to select suitable cities. India's sporting governance, social issues like doping, and facility management post-games need improvement. While recent successes in Indian sports provide hope, The goal to be in the top 15 medal-winning nations might require a longer horizon and a focus on multiple sports. Temporary movable structures are suggested over large permanent venues to manage costs effectively.
The influence of marketing strategies on film critics is explored, highlighting how studios leverage influencers and select journalists for positive early reviews, shaping a film's success. This trend extends to India, where critics face pressure to write positively or risk losing access. The problem intensifies with online fandom, leading to trolling and critics being discouraged from writing negative opinions. As theaters struggle post-COVID, critics face guilt trips about discouraging cinema attendance. Despite challenges, the hope remains that some journalists will resist PR pressure, maintain fair criticism, and challenge audiences, preserving the integrity of film critique amid marketing pressures.
The Second Backward Classes Commission was established in Tamil Nadu in 1982 following a government decision to increase BC reservations from 31% to 50%. The commission conducted a survey in 1983 to 84, enumerating and classifying BCs, finding they constituted a significant portion of the state's population. Differences arose between the chairman, Ambashankar, and other members regarding the reservation quantum and caste inclusions. Despite these disagreements, the government maintained the 50% reservation quota for BCs, including some new communities and rejecting the exclusion of others. This decision influenced Tamil Nadu's reservation policies, maintaining the 50% quota for BCs.
China and Bhutan held their 25th round of boundary talks in Beijing, advancing their three-step roadmap for border resolution initiated in 2021. The talks are significant as they indicate significant progress after a 7-year gap, with Bhutan inching towards completing the roadmap. The three-step roadmap involves agreeing on the border on the table, on-site visits, and formal demarcation. For India, the talks are closely monitored due to concerns over the Doklam Plateau's demarcation and the proximity of the India-China-Bhutan trijunction to India's Siliguri corridor, a vital connection to the northeastern states. India is wary of any closer ties between China and Bhutan.
Taylor Swift's concert film, The Eras Tour, directed by Sam Wrench, has become a sensation, marking a shift in cinema preferences from superhero flicks to immersive concert experiences. Swift's film, documenting her musical journey over 10 acts, is considered path-breaking for its direct agreement with theaters after failed studio negotiations. Concert movies offer fans a superior experience with 360-degree views, crisp edits, close-ups, behind-the-scenes sequences, and comfortable theater amenities. The success of Swift's film may revive interest in communal theater experiences, drawing audiences away from CGI battles to stadium-level concert screenings.
The Supreme Court of India rejected a 26-week pregnant woman's plea for abortion despite her severe postpartum psychosis, stating that the recognition of a woman's autonomy cannot eclipse the rights of the unborn child. This decision contrasts with the landmark X v NCT ruling of 2022, which emphasized a woman's right to choose. The court's present stance dilutes women's right to choose, introducing a discourse on fetal rights and raising questions about how these limitations are determined. The court's failure to clarify the legal status of the fetus has led to inconsistencies in abortion jurisprudence, risking a reduction of women's rights to mere rhetoric.